last one to die.
I'm just gonna watch Jiu-Jitsu live, live. The angle I'm gonna take isn't gonna be straight Jiu-Jitsu or straight like competition Jiu-Jitsu. It's gonna be, as usual, like more of a combative take. What's cool, what's not, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to start making videos again. We'll start with this one.
All right, ladies and
Here we go. Get right into it.
The kind of guy, if you don't know, that means you don't know Jiu-Jitsu at all. Like, obviously, Planet is one of the most well-known guys in the Jiu-Jitsu community because of
Andrade straight to trying to take the back.
My co-commentator.
I want to say that's his jam too.
So right now, it's an
Duarte.
incredibly interesting
That's
technical match.
definitely something
I
he's
know a
going
lot of
for.
people maybe don't know
Good
Ali
snap.
Uzbek, but he's so technical.
Right
so
off the bat, they're getting a lot of like pushing back and forth. This guy's willing to like make real engagement with him on the feet, and like so he's already taking advantage of that by like I'm driving, but now I'm gonna snap back and snap back. Hugely awesome concept for combatives. You know, someone who's really coming after you or aggressive towards you, they're sending a lot of energy your way. So if you give them enough energy to stop that, and then they're gonna reciprocate energy beyond, like fight even harder to fight past the resistance you're giving, and then you use that against them in the form of like head snaps and stuff. You always want to create those push-pulls, right? And using your opponent's energy against you.
strong. Is one of the best technicians in the world. I believe in this weight category, he can go against a lot of elite, top level guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what he did.
Duarte's trying to do a lot of like, it's the get behind the elbow concept. Like if you think of it just as simple as that, I want to try to get some kind of something behind this guy's elbows so that I can drive it that way, drive from behind his elbows. And then that always gives me, whenever I'm doing that, it gives me a great angle into his body to get good forms of control on his actual body and not just his arms.
With Gustavo Batista, right? Gustavo Batista at the event got the decision, but then it was overturned, and actually the judges gave the decision to Ali Uzbek because he was looking for the heel hook,
great wrestling
and the heel hook was not awarded.
Good
And then
control.
also there was some crazy throw. So I would give him an edge probably in stand-up game and leg lock exchange. And as I say this, kind of the orthotics back. So yeah, this is the game we play, guys.
So he uses again the same concept. That grip itself, that 2-on-1 kind of what do they call it, Russian 2-on-1 grip. It's the whole concept of getting behind the elbow to where you have that leverage to push them past you into that better angle. And he uses that in conjunction with a little leg
Crazy
hook.
throw. So I would give him an edge probably.
That little leg hook is enough of a fake and enough to let him close his hips and get this grip on the body. And then once you get a grip on the body, you have a dominant control. And look at the angle he has too. Like because he's getting behind that elbow early, he has the dominant angle as they enter and get stronger grips on each other.
Stand-up game and leg lock exchange. And as I say this, kind of.
He just continues with that like strong shoulder in rotation once you get behind him and behind that elbow, and you get like this effect where they're going over. Like he knows he's gonna get dumped if he doesn't lean forward and commit to almost a quad pod, like leaning over, like heavy base forward position.
The orthotics back.
And Duarte takes advantage of that by throwing a hook in. This guy kind of leaned into it on purpose. You know, he was expecting the hook. He's hoping to get that deep underhook and go into probably kind of a deep half or like single leg type defense.
So yeah, this is the game we play. Hey guys. Kind of.
I don't know why he gave up that grip. Yeah, I imagine he was worried about getting his arm pinned.
Kind of the orthotics back. So
this structure here, he did not want to let it collapse. When he collapses down into a turtle is when he loses the structure, and then this hook that Duarte's throwing in becomes a stronger bite on his arm that's isolating his arm from protecting his neck. And he feels that, so he lets it go and gets his arm out of there. But when his knee was up and his foot was under him and he had structure, that was good. He should have stayed with that. Like roll into like some kind of, like drive into some kind of go use the underhook on the leg to retreat underneath his body. Like retreat into a single leg almost position or a deep underhook position.
Well, yeah, this is
But
the game.
because he crumbles down, now this is compromised. It's wide open to throw the hook deeper, which he does. Kanyan gets a better connection with the hook. And he feels that bite, I'm sure, and that's why he got his arm out of there to protect his neck.
Good play, guys.
Kind of almost take his back.
All right.
One hook
right.
in. Seatbelt grips on. Looking for feed the second hook. And also, meanwhile, training will show both hooks in.
I feel like he rushed that second hook just to get to points or something. That wasn't really a strong position for him to throw the second hook in, but I mean, he's good enough at it and he's strong enough that he made it work.
Body triangle. I think this is
Puts the body triangle
end of
in.
the story.
That's tight.
Kind of
That's a
behind your
super
back,
tight body
body
triangle. 'Cause
triangle.
this is a big boy.
It's nearly impossible
Yeah.
to get out of the
Okay.
water dry.
Okay. We're making the right
Trying to be
moves.
looking for. I'll be trying to.
It is already so dangerous. He's just.
It is. He tries to get the body triangle off.
That's a really
Meanwhile,
tight body
Kanyan
triangle.
keeps the hand under the chin, and Kanyan hands is like super strong.
And now we're just one rip away from a choke.
Exactly.
This
One
is what
mistake
it is.
away, and this is horrible, horrible start for Ali B.
Look how.
Combatives wise, I would never. I'm against these kind of attachments, like a body triangle. Obviously, it's super strong, but locked in attachments to a person in combatives, where you know you have a variable environment. You know, you don't really know what's going on around you. You don't want to be completely committedly attached to a person. You always want to have that out. Like right now, especially locked side down. Kanye is just as stuck here as this guy is, right? And from a combative's perspective, it's not really ideal. We don't want that. So I'm against, like, when I train combatives with somebody, I want us to focus on non-committed connections that are still powerful at controlling, powerful at keeping us in dominant, giving us dominant leverage, but just we don't want to fully connect and commit to connecting, if that makes sense.
Fast Kanyan got there as well.
Well, it's a split-second decision.
So crazy.
But obviously, in a
Somehow-
jiu-jitsu match where it's you versus him only, and that's the whole goal, then a connection like this is not only good, but it's desirable, and you want to seek it.
Mysteriously, even though I'm an 80-kilogram guy, I was training today with Kind of Doherty in the morning. We were training together, and I was helping him to do his preparation for this fight in terms of cardio, right? So he was picking me up. We were working on our wrestling. We were working on takedowns, and just the physical strength that the man has. Of course, technically,
Yeah.
he's
So he's
as
making
good
good.
as they get.
This guy, even before, he was making good moves to defend the body lock, and he knows how to open it. But Duarte's kind of, because he's got this deep underhook and this like shoulder right behind his shoulder, he's leading him into a head and arm. Like this probably isn't gonna work out well for this guy. This escape. Ryan Duarte knows the path of that escape, and he's kind of already a step ahead.
But and it's not surprising to me, right? So when the guy is,
And now this guy realizes that Kanye is leading him down that path. He kind of sees it coming, so you can see how he slowed down that escape. He's kind of taking his time and monitoring this leg, trying to monitor where Kanye and Duarte's hips are and keep him farther away so he can't set into this choke. Duarte hasn't committed to it yet, though. He's just kind of
You're not
riding.
surprised that he
Yeah,
was
he
so
didn't
technical.
commit to it.
When I grappled with him, I was
That's
so
the right
surprised
move.
how strong he is.
So,
I is
the simplest way to break down escapes from the bottom, you gotta build head height or hip height. And like, he does this. He's got the hips on top of him and his hips are
team
hocking.
champion, right?
He gets
You were
him
not surprised
down.
that he's so technical.
Kanye goes, his head comes up a little bit, Kanye goes to address the head, and then the hip height comes up when the head height can't,
When I
right? That's the secret to all, or the secret, it's not a secret. That's like the fundamental underlying of all escapes. You're building head height. When they focus on denying the head height, then you build the hip height and you work from there. He's gonna circle
Apple
out.
with him, I was so surprised with how strong he is. Just
Yeah,
like
you can see the guy's talking about it right now, and you can see how strong Kanye's grips are. He was literally like pushing away and using the centrifugal force of the rotation to try to break that grip, and Kanye's grip still wasn't breaking. These guys got freaking gorilla
feel
hands.
the bone intensity when you're going with him.
Oh,
The guy
that's
is
a
so
strong
physically strong.
grip.
By the way, Eldar Saidov, who just who you went against, and Eldar Saidov.
So, right now, what I would be doing with a grip like this, where I just freaking can't break this thing, stop trying to break it with your hand. You're gonna commit to a full quad pod. I would go like as much hip height as I could, and then put my hands on the mat, and then hit that heist out. Use the weight of your hips and your core muscles to drive out of that grip. At best, if he holds the grip, you're going to rotate him and sweep him over to where you can at least take a top position while he's still got that grip, and then work on finding your way out from there.
Rolled with him a couple of days ago too, and he said,
He's just going to keep trying to whip him around.
strongest human being.
This is a lot of work for him trying to break that grip. And look, it just broke him down.
Guillotines people when they are in his side control with one arm.
I saw that. I actually saw that
This
in
is
person.
this is stupid, man. This is just
In the
stupid.
gi, in the gi, in the gi.
Stupid.
In the gi, and no, I saw this. He's doing him doing this in the training room and no gi as well. This is just stupid. People shouldn't do it, you know. It's like
So you can watch, try to, yeah, see how he tries to work behind the elbow? It's typically been his left elbow too that he's really focusing on.
Nice
Single leg
single leg,
defense.
single leg
Yes.
take down, but it's hard to put the guy down. It's like
So like, when a single leg is effective is when, well, I'm not gonna get into that. I have this whole, like, completely different concept on single legs, and like, I'm not gonna get into it.
he's on one leg. Seems like you have to make him jump
This
all
is
day.
all good wrestling
So
stuff,
he gets
typical
tired and
fundamental
then dropping
wrestling.
down. Still 0-0.
So,
The back take didn't
right
get
to
any
the-
one
tries to
pointers.
put to the ground.
We were kind
Good
of
snap. Again,
just
he's
the
taking advantage of his
judges, right? If
energy
going
coming
the
into
full
you.
distance. I have a feeling. I mean, with the big guys, it always with all of the guys, right? But it can go the full distance. But I feel like this one, for some reason, I
End
have
up
a feeling this
sooner.
one is, yeah, this one is ending with a submission.
He's going with that same grip again, getting behind the elbow. He'll run a, like he's intertwining his hand into it so he can lock in that grip. What do they call that? A great white grip, one guy calls it.
From
We're back to standard Russian.
either side, but so far, Hyman is doing an amazing job of staying out of any kind of trouble, even with that single leg takedown attempt. But already took the back, already got the takedown, already got into very dangerous positions. At some point, the arm was across the face, so he only needed to bring one more arm. And I know Kynan would not be trying to get under the neck. He does not need that. Now, if it's on the face, again, if it's under the eyebrows, you can choke it. You know, this is the case with physical
Oh,
freaks
wow.
like I know.
That was the way he let him just throw those underhooks in there was super sloppy of him. Watch that again. Like, you
And then
should have
he
a
does
natural,
does not
like,
need that.
where your elbows
Now, if
want
it's
to
on
keep
the
that
face,
out.
Again, if it's under the eyebrows, you can choke it. You know, this is the case with physical
Oh my
freaks.
God, he literally just walks in and the guy's like this. I gotta watch that in slow motion because that's like, holy frick, what was he thinking? Oh, that's crazy. Like, why does the guy just... I mean, he's always really bad about it with that backhand, which isn't bad. It's the backhand he's doing it with. Tries to throw by, nothing. didn't get behind Duarte's elbows good when he did it. Okay. So the one of them, he's just taking advantage of a crappy collar tie. And he's got a grip on the other guy's arm, but oh my god, dude. Does he? Yeah, he just let that other arm, especially, like he just lets him walk right into that underhook. Anyway, I'm sure he's tired too. Your shoulders do everything when you're in these kind of deep body locks. It's like you're literally grabbing their behind their elbow and their whole like lat area, and you're just throwing it by.
If it's under the eyebrows, you can choke it. You know, this is the case with physical freaks like I know. Oh, already has it.
Yeah, it's just in so deep, like so much torque and leverage with that body lock, and like your shoulder driving in, he just turns them over, cranks them right over, and like there's just so much torsion that the guy's hips go with it and just bowls him right over.
Body lock takes
Body
it
lock
down.
with double underhooks. Well, halfway to mount.
This guy grabbed the half guard.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't.
Duarte didn't try to avoid the half
That
guard.
would be
He's okay with it because it
defensively
pins the guy for a moment so he can settle into the top position.
Situation right now. Maybe Alibi tries to gain some height.
He's working
He's
right
certainly
around the
second.
hips to have. Oh man.
He's so confident maybe in his defense.
That's interesting. It's interesting that the guy is turtling right away. No, it's not. It makes perfect sense because he got out the last time. So he's going to turtle and try to get out again. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know.
Just like effortless pass. It's like didn't like he put a lot of pressure. Didn't look like.
Double
and
underhooks.
Didn't look like Alibi even tried to resist the pass. He just turned away.
Yeah.
Well, obviously have some tricks with rollovers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Good turtle defense.
The pressure.
Keep the heads, keep the hips away or keep the heads away.
He's coaching right now.
And then
Has been.
Randy through.
Very lot of time in Kazakhstan.
Take what you
He
can
was a
get.
child, I guess, right?
Building
Yeah,
height.
he grew up
He just
there.
moved 2 years ago to Chechnya.
So this guy's doing a lot of scrambling on the ground now. It's wasting a lot of injuries, so Duarte might be letting him do it on purpose. But the reason he's able to scramble so much is there isn't full commitment from Duarte to either controlling the hips or controlling the head, and specifically driving them flat. Like the hips, you don't necessarily need to drive them flat. It's actually probably better to drive them away from you, so they're pointing in the opposite direction. But the head, like you drive it away from you, or just drive it flat, like drive the body flat. The crossface, basically. You're not seeing the crossface coming.
His whole life in Kazakhstan. Always talks about Kazakhstan, always goes there.
This is a grip I want to start using a lot more. And this looks like super simple, but I think it's one of these like breakthrough things, like that takes you to the next level. And I want to like start
Yeah, you
using
grew up
He just moved 2 years
this.
ago to Chechnya.
Hold on.
So he
this
looked
right
at
here.
his whole-
Just like, not an underhook, but just like thumb posting. Like right here in their like underhook area. Just thumb post. Like, I see that more and more, and like, it lets you maintain like this high postured position instead of going down into underhooks. And like combatively, that's awesome. Like, so I'm definitely looking forward to messing with that and just using that a lot more. I know it seems like stupid simple, oh, that's not a lot of control, but it really is. Like, that kind of little thing, the way you're squashing their hips down and making sure his hips don't come up, especially against like guys that leg lock and stuff like that. Like this thumb post thing here, that's something I really need to bring into my game. And it's something.
Always talks
something
about
good.
Kazakhstan, always goes there, every year goes there at least twice. Loves
His family lives there, right?
his family, his mom and his dad, and they're all there.
That's
So
just
he's
this guy
going there
Turlan
constantly.
and Duarte riding the hips
But
well,
now
taking
he's
advantage of it.
training the athletic team.
Then the Ramos Academy in Chechnya, yeah.
So again, what we talked about before, build head height or hip height. He's giving him the head height right now. The guy needs to take advantage of it. sit outs and stuff like that are what this guy needs at this point. And I don't think he's most like jiu-jitsu guys aren't well versed in the sit outs. They don't understand that the whole concept of it is to break this grip that they have on your body. Like you use that like a freaking the way you like drive your hips away when you're breaking grips on your body. That's what a sit out is. It's what you're trying to do. You're changing the angle and stuff like that too. You're getting your feet on the mat so you can drive back out of things, but the main thing is that extra torsion and tension you're putting on this connection that they have to your hips and your body. So like a lot of, for whatever reason, you're seeing more and more of the head height quad pod stuff in jiu-jitsu, the hip height stuff in jiu-jitsu. You're seeing a lot of that where they do like quad pods and escape things that way, but you don't see as much sit out like head height stuff. I hope I'm making sense right now, but that needs to like be absorbed by jiu-jitsu more. The sit outs and the head height, the stuff where you build head height and then use that extension away from your partner to break grips and escape that way.
I love commenting his gym and training with him. Such a great guy. Man, Kainan is just putting.
He's giving him the head height. He needs to take it. See this space he has to come up through here? That's where he needs to go. That's where he needs to go. Come up through this space. Get your feet, like get your hips all the way out, your feet out in front of you, and then use that left and right rotation to rotate out of any grips he has. And there's not much grips now anyway, although he's starting to set up his head and arm grip. But this guy's still got a tight elbow to avoid that. And that's what I'm saying. He can sit out, like I'm saying, and still maintain this tight elbow and not let that underside arm or hook in. Like that's his avenue of escape. And if Duarte covers the head, then you have the hip height stuff where you do a quad pod and you get out that way.
The pressure on really be.
And he actually does it so effortlessly.
So
Like
crazy, right?
he's like on a just training schedule.
Yeah.
Duarte there is just trying to force throw in hooks, which is just jiu-jitsu like in the brain, right? Break the turtle down first and then throw in hooks.
Atos. Oh no, he's
There's
not
that
going Atos.
And now
super
this
strong
is
head
the
and
thing
arm
with
grip.
Kainan. He doesn't need the legs
Right.
to finish the game.
So strong.
Well, he
That's the crazy part.
would need it.
Against Alibi, maybe, yeah. Alibi is
The
huge.
thing is, like, without the
See?
point of fulcrum, it's very difficult
Just
to avoid.
rolls through. That was just catching him off guard with a roll through. But again, if you're like working to break the turtle down, they don't have that momentum to use against you. Like there's this weird thing jiu-jitsu guys do, and it's not fully understood in the jiu-jitsu community yet that the thing you're doing against turtle isn't trying to find openings in submissions. It's breaking them down. The turtle's an athletic position. You got to break them down to a less athletic position.
An amount of pressure to put you to sleep. Well, now Alibi is under his A game. Finally,
Yeah,
he
he's
can
trying to get the
swing
leg
some
locks.
heel
He's
hook or
got
something like that.
That alone would break my knee. Like, I see this all the time. Like these guys, jiu-jitsu, like the way they get this torque. There's a lot of guards that use this kind of inward torque of the leg. Like, dude, that's not good. You don't want your leg moving like that.
Leg attacks is his forte.
Like
This
that is
exactly what he's
in
doing.
itself
Well,
bad
Kainan
for
is no
your
stranger to defending
freaking
leg locks. Obviously, you cannot
There you go. Now
become
you're in trouble.
ADCC
Run
absolute
into a
world champion
cradle. Use
if you
cradle
don't know
to
the leg
your
locks.
face.
Frank Jones doing leg lock, right?
He did?
He did.
That was just
He
too
did.
much
He didn't, but I
pressure.
think
Go one of
Too
the,
much
one
weight.
of the best leg lockers.
Lachlan
Couldn't hold.
Giles.
Alright, now we're seeing the crossface come into play, and this guy's
Finals of the
pinned to the mat.
absolutes of the ADCC, right? Not the finals, though.
No,
right?
not the finals.
That fights it
Was
off.
it one of them
Yes.
Kainan? I don't think
That
one of them
starts
was
to go
Kainan.
to. So again here,
Muhammad
like right here, Georgia's got like this deep, this side grip. I would work around and start to try this arm. He's been doing a good job of hiding that underside underhook, but Duarte needs to start using this arm because he's leaving his head. He's not really addressing his head. His arm is up here by his head, but it's not doing any kind of cross facing or anything that's doing him any good. Try to dig underneath. You can lift the hips. Try to dig underneath with the bottom side arm and get that bottom side, what do they call it, like a wrestler grip. one-on-one grip from behind, so that you can drive with your shoulder and drive them into the mat that way.
One of those,
One of
100%.
Cyborg is the other one, I think, no?
Probably, I
He's
don't
got a
remember
deep,
for sure.
like, belly,
but I
gut
just
wrench
remember
grip.
he submitted
You can
big
just
names.
lift him.
Yeah.
All right, he's going head and
He
arm
did, he
again.
did. Alibi's grimacing for some reason. This is
Well, I mean,
This is
look at
pressure.
this, who's on top of you.
this is so crazy.
Again, like this arm right here, towards his right arm, it's not doing much of anything in forms of control. So like, why are we doing it? Take this grip you have, lift this person up a little bit, and let your arm come underneath him to try to get that underhook on the backside.
No wonder he's grimacing. The guy is like arm triangle to the back.
Literally,
There
probably
you
in the
go.
whole
Or that. You can use that, what do they call it? A quarter Nelson leverage to drive his shoulder that way and then pin his shoulders to the mat that way too.
world right now is the worst people to have on top of you.
Is he doing a ball ride? Yeah, he's doing like a ball ride here. Which is interesting. He really wants this guy to turn into the head and arm. I think Kanye just has a stupid amount of faith in his head and arm. And like, it probably does because of his enormous grip and squeezing ability. So he wants him to turn that way, and this guy knows it. He knows that way, turning that way is death. So he's just trying to do this. But again, that kind of goes into what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing preventing this guy from belly down, going belly down. And that kind of would be the move here. Although this is a shallower grip now. So I wouldn't go belly down with that shallow grip because he's just going to wreck you. 'Cause you're not, when you have a deep head and arm grip and you go belly down, you kind of drag them with you. But this shot like this here, he's just in trouble already.
Yeah, I would not love to be here.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Heavy hips.
Yeah, that's good. Now if he can swing, if he takes his arm now that he's been thrown back over this guy's head and then drives this arm up with his left hand grip and then gets his right arm behind and then on the inside of that underside arm and then use all that leverage to drive his head down and crank his head down and crank him flat that way, that's a great move too.
So,
It's probably what he's going for. Yeah. Trying to lift that arm so he can get that hand
pins it
underneath.
down.
There's the opportunity.
Probably.
Yes, please take that deeper. He needs to commit to that more. That side, getting that grip.
Goes to Khabib style.
Look, Dagestani.
Yeah.
As they call it.
He needs to commit to that more.
70 seconds remains.
Right.
Alibi is obviously losing.
He just feels super confident. I think he's just riding him at this point because he just feels him wilting underneath him.
Judges' scorecards. He's being dominating by
There's the
positions.
turn in. Because we weren't running that head and arm threat anymore, the guy turned in. And there was nothing that Duarte was doing on the hips or anything below so much to keep him from turning in.
From the entire match.
But here's the cool part about this rule set. If he gets one good attack right now, he'll win.
Good crossface, we got him
One
pinned
good
flat.
attack that scores one single point, the guy will win. Alibi will win. The Kynan is just, it's on and it's so crazy.
Yeah, he's just smothering him.
Kynan doesn't really.
So I'll make one last point.
It's so
I love
crazy.
driving this point home. I say it in a lot of my videos. This right here, when we have, I think when I think of mount and combatives, I just think of it as using an underhook and then our knees, our powerful legs to extend a person. So what I mean by that is we finally got a far side like underhook, like this underhook on this arm. So that gives us this like anchor here to drive this way. So now that our knee is here, we can create extension. We can drive up this and we can use our wedge in our knee to drive that hip down and we can extend our opponent. And when we extend them, we add to that pressure, we add to that smothering, we add to that pinning, right? Because when you're curled up, especially if you're on your side some, you're in that kind of fetal position that's more defensive and can absorb energy better. When we get extended and stretched out, that's when we're at more risk of like the pressure and the damage becomes more to us, right? So you're driving to extension. That's what a mount is. Like everyone thinks of it as a position. Mount is a position that you can hold. But like I think of it different. It's about having a good anchor to extend. As in, you wouldn't want to ever mount someone unless you had the anchor. The point is to have the anchor first, and then you can use it to extend. In combatives. In jiu-jitsu, it makes sense to mount just because you get points for it. Kanyan's not really doing that. You can see he's just kind of floating this knee where it is. He's happy with that. But get the extension. Use the extension. Stretch him out.
Kanyan doesn't really push that much of the pace. Now he knows he have it.
It doesn't need
There,
to.
Yeah.
now we're doing that grip I was talking about before. We've driven this elbow high enough so that we can swing this arm in, put it on the inside, and now we can create that torque on the back of their head and begin to drive them towards the mat more. This guy's trying to address it.
Yeah, he obviously knows he's on top, he's dominating the entire match, and he's safe.
There it is. Finally, we got the freaking.
Most important part of being there on
Yeah.
top while this is happening. He's safe totally. He doesn't need much to do now. Just kind of kick it out there.
He doesn't commit to the grip like I would commit to the side of the one-on-one wrestler grip from behind. Because what happens? Let's go back to that for a second. This is important.
Most important part of being.
Oh,
Yeah. He obviously knows he's on top, he's dominating the entire match, and he's safe.
All right. What makes this grip strong is you have this anchor point on the inside, right? You can now get your shoulder behind their shoulder and drive them flat. And because Kanyan doesn't commit to this side and get his shoulder behind this shoulder, there's no real strong rotational control, and this guy can do like what he does.
Most important part of
Like he flattens about a little bit, but there's not a lot of pressure. You have to get your shoulder behind their shoulder.
being there on top. While
He commits to this side on taking this kind of half Nelson grip, but he's not using that. Again, it's about shoulder and driving their shoulder in. This half Nelson grip is used to drive them back the other way. It would be back the other way. You get your shoulder under their shoulder, and you drive them back that way to flatten their shoulders to the mat, pin their shoulders to the mat. So he's using two conflicting grips right now. Like what he really wants to do is take this and just focus on driving this arm that's posting right now into the mat off the post. Kanyan Duarte put his left hand on the mat and just walk it out so that it sweeps this post off the mat. That's what he should be focusing on. He's going to have this post. He's going to be able to drive himself
What's
up,
happening? He's
build
safe.
some height off of it. Now he's got his feet under him and his hips under him, and now he uses that
He doesn't
to
need
drive
much
out
to
of the
do
grip.
now.
And this grip on the other side was doing nothing. There wasn't enough leverage to do anything.
Just kind of kick it out there. He wouldn't even try to submit him. Look.
Yeah. And he's not famous for being
Duarte's just grinding him out. He's not really he didn't even try to hold him down there.
like a crazy submission hunter.
No, unless somebody tries to take him down and he goes to the guillotine, that's a big deal. But most
Boom.
of these titles, especially in Ibachev, he won by
Well,
positioning.
I would argue pretty boring match, but definitely some stuff to learn there. Like mounts is about an underhook and extending them. Head height, hip height, building the way we can build that. What that rip from behind wrestlers one-on-one grip is really about, getting that shoulder in there. Anyway, hope you learned something. Slenderman out. Look at this. I can never find a gi that fits me. Look at that. Look at that.